Welcome to Outlaw Edge. So this guy right here is getting all cut up and welded up and tricked out, airbagged. Look how high this thing sits. It's way up there. Should be a pretty badass project. Got to get the body stripped down and pulled off. The frame's pretty much junk. All these stock unibody frames are all cracked up and crappy, ride like lumber wagons. Thing's all original, super clean. There's some small rust holes and stuff like that. You know, this bedside will have to be replaced right here. Little things though. See some rust right in here, and pull everything apart, get it set up. I mean, look how nice this thing opens and closes up. Make a nice little hot rod. Stuff like this will be welded up. This chrome is, I don't even want to say, it's kind of lame. It's gonna get pulled off. Big dents like this in there, got to be fixed. These will get welded up. This body seam will get welded up. Because this is a unibody, they don't have the seam in between the bed and the truck and the bed. It's just all one piece. So, fix dents like this. And then, you know, they have a lot of body lines like this that are real deep. What we're going to do is get everything down to bare metal, and then we'll actually weld this up and then just seam right over the top of that so you can't tell it's there. Make it look a lot cleaner. Put a beautiful paint job on it. Stuff like this will have to be fixed. Holes. The stock bumper will go in the scrap metal pile. There's some rust back here. The inside of the bed will have to be cut out. That's a patch. That'll have to be pulled off, repaired. Get the gas tank from here, weld this up, pull the gas tank out of the cab just so it's safe, and you know, weld up all the holes in the bed. I think the door handles might even come off. I'm not sure yet. We'll talk about that later. Stock mirrors got to go. These are just lame. I mean, it's cool for a stock truck, but not for a hot rod. You know, those got to go. All the glass and stuff is nice. It's in good condition. Probably put this thing on like some 18s or 19s, some wide wheels and tires, airbags, lay it on the ground. And NZ Mopar Glenn Ridd in Australia is doing the drawings for me. When he gets those ready, I'll have him post them on his channel, and we'll post them on our channel, and we'll kind of show you some of the stuff that we're doing to this truck. We're kind of flipping back and forth. He's going to do a bunch of drawings so we can get this thing all designed out the way we want. And when we get more, you know, more set up where we know what we want to do to it and the way we want to trick it out, you know, this will be just a really sweet project. And then probably get rid of the front bumper and do rolled pans in the front and rear, stuff like that. And of course, the stock motor's going away. I mean, it runs, but these are clackety, gear grinding, lumber wagon riding, junky old frames and stuff on these trucks. I mean, it's fine for a restoration, yeah. You know, if a guy was gonna do one stock, but that's not what we're doing. All this has to go to bare metal, everything, all this underneath the hood. I mean, there's so much work right here. And like an idiot, this is gonna be a Minnesota Outlaw Customs shop project, and it's getting built with the SEMA car at the same time. So it's gonna be busy, busy, busy. It's gonna be a lot of work. Little details like this though, you know, there's like all this stuff in here is wrecked. It's all old and cracked and fallen inside the door, and you know, it'll need all new rubber. We'll pull all the glass and everything out of the doors. All this new welting and felt will have to be replaced. block sand it for like a month. Show paint job. I think we've decided on like a candy cobalt blue, like a real pretty blue, and we'll kind of figure that out as we go. But I'll give you a little bit of an update on this later. Let's see what happens. Hey guys, welcome to Outlaw Edge. I have earplugs in, so it's gonna be kind of loud when I'm banging on this truck. But first thing that we did, pulled this chrome off so we can get to these dents. You can see a big dent right there, and then there's some other dents over here. And I'll kind of show you with a body file what you can do real quick. And on these, this chrome trim that's on the side, you can see the trim here. It's just a aluminum trim, and what it is these are on the back side of the trim, and then this little spring deal just holds the trim up, or holds the trim to the body. And then this nut right here, that's on the back side right here. Super simple. Thought it was kind of boring taking that off, so got that pulled off, and I'll bag and tag those and get them put away. And then all these holes are going to get filled up with the welder, and that's what I'm doing this morning. Is I'm trying to get some of these dents out. And what I wanted to show you is a lot of these dents, like these big dents, they're easy to find. You can really see them right there. And this truck's got to go down to bare metal, so it's easier. Excuse me. It's easier to get, nail the dents now and get them out of the truck before you get the thing down to bare metal. Because once it's in the bare metal, then you have to use like a Dicom die, and then a body file and whatever, so you can find all the dents. And then you can see how this dent, you can see really good with the body file, but you can actually see it before you run the body file on here. And on this dent here, I didn't even notice it until I was on the other side of the shop, and I looked this way, I could see the light reflecting off a little dent right here, and then I ran a body file on there and I could feel it with my hand and everything. But you can see with the body file, it really lights it up, so you can see where the dent is. And in just a matter of seconds, you can see there's a huge dent right there. And it didn't look that bad, but that dent's gonna show in the paint. And of course this whole truck's gonna get down to bare metal, body work and everything else, but it's like I said, it's a lot better to do them now and get them out, so that when you put your primer on here, you blast this thing with your epoxy primer, and then you put your high build primer over the top of that, and you start block sanding. What'll happen is that dent will go away, and then it'll take out all the scratches and everything else, from the body file, and it helps. It's a time saver. So what I have today is I have a lightweight slapper body spoon and a little bit heavier body spoon here, and then I have a homemade body spoon that I made out of a leaf spring, and this thing's really heavy. And the reason I have that is these big dents. This metal on this truck this thing's built like an army tank, so it's I'm gonna have to put a dolly behind it and then beat on this body and try to get these dents out of this thing. But first thing first, run the body file on this whole panel. And I literally will run it on this whole panel just to find all the small dents real quick before I do any of the rust repair down here, and get everything set up. But I'll go ahead and I'm going to use this a little bit heavier slapper here. I'm going to have to move this camera though real quick, so give me a second. So what I did is I moved the camera so you can see a little bit better when I get ready to start smacking on this thing. And I moved all the tools off the top of the bed and got everything moved so I don't knock stuff on the ground. And I got earplugs in because it's going to be loud. Sorry about that, but nothing I can do about that. And this dent here, like I said, all you want to do is, it's a simple method. You have a curved dolly. This is a Martin dolly here. This is a real nice one that a friend of ours gave us. And you want to make sure that your dollies are nice and clean. That helps a lot. Same with the surface on your hammers or your slappers or your spoons, because what happens is if you have any imperfections on here, if you hit this 10 times, you have 10 imperfections in that metal. So you want to go ahead and make sure they're nice and smooth and mirror finish if you can get them polished up. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and beat on this for a little bit, try to get this dent out of here, and And I'm just holding this dolly on the back side of the dent, nice and smooth against the back of the dent. And I'm using this slapper to bang on the front of it, and it's gonna push that dent out. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that's almost all the way out right there. Sorry about the noise. And then now what I'll do is I'll take my body file. I'll keep doing this until I can get this dent to go away. So there's a little low spot right in here, and then right here there's another low spot. I think what I'll do is I'll go grab some, now that the dent's almost all the way out, I'll go grab some hammers, and I'll hammer and dolly it from the back side with a hammer instead, so that'll help a lot. So the hammer and dolly that I chose, I have this Martin dolly here. I'm gonna run that on the outside of the dent, and then I have this snap-on hammer, and you can see it has like a little bit of a crown right here. It's not all the way flat. And I'll go ahead and work on this for a little bit and see if I can get it. And this is the side that I'm gonna end up using on the inside of the bed. If it was like this, but since I'm on the outside, I'm gonna use the flat out here. So I'll get my camera moved. And I'm taking the snap-on hammer and I'm sticking it on the inside. It doesn't have to be a snap-on, it can be anything. But this is just the hammer I chose. And it's gonna be a little loud. Then I'll take and run this body file on it again. Yeah, that's almost all the way out right there. And then what I'll do is I'll get everything set up so I can metalwork this, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about. Stop. I have Lily here with me. She's whining. She wants to go outside. So I have a Harbor Freight DA dual orbital sander, and then I have this snap-on, and it's got 220 grit on this one, and I have 36 grit on this one. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Harbor Freight sander. I'll hit this right now, and then I'll kind of show you how to metal finish something real quick and easy. So this will be a little bit loud too. You want to run, anytime you want to use a DA, you want to try to keep it as smooth as you can by running the disc as flat as you can on the panel. So when you're going back and forth, and even if you're walking around corners like this, you want to run it nice and smooth. You just run that pad, follow the contour of the panel. So I'll go ahead and get this sanded up. So what I did is I took a 36 grit and hit this dent, and I have a little bit of a high spot right here. I can feel it. And then I'm going to take the snap-on DA and do the same thing, and it has 220 grit. And now you can see that that panel is glass smooth. And the reason I did this video is I wanted to show you that, you know, you don't have to, you know, like a big dents like this, you can beat them out and metal finish them, and it's faster to do it this way, in my opinion, than it is to stuff a bunch of mud in there, a bunch of bondo in there, and use a bunch of body filler and get it all packed in there and then sand it and block it and sand it and block it and whatever. Now, when this bedside is done and the whole bedside is done like this, you know, it'll take probably 3 hours to get the whole bedside down to bare metal. And then after that, metalwork everything, get it finished, and then sand it with a DA and get it smooth, and then put primer on the panel, and then block sand the panel. And in my opinion, that's faster and a nicer job. And like Heidi says, it doesn't look all goopy because there's no bondo in there. And you know, the panel will be flawless. It'll look like a mirror when you're done, you know, so, because it'll just be perfect because of the metalwork will take over instead of having a bunch of edges of bondo showing or whatever. And then if you have any shrinking or anything like that in the filler, it's going to show also. So the reason I did this video is to show you how to do, you know, do metalwork or metal finishing and take dents out without using bondo. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. Give me a thumbs up, and thanks for supporting my channel. Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell.